While McLaren celebrated Lando Norris winning the 2025 Formula One Championship, the mood was very different for his teammate, Oscar Piastri. Norris had just won his first title after a long fight with Max Verstappen, and the team was overjoyed. But for Piastri, the end of the season was a huge disappointment. He wasn't celebrating. Instead, he was left thinking about how his own title chances had completely fallen apart. This isn't about Piastri being a sore loser. It's about a driver who was a real contender for the championship for most of the year. But then, a string of bad luck, team mistakes, and tough strategy calls ruined his chances. To understand why he's so frustrated, we need to look at where it all went wrong for him. For most of the season, Piastri was a top driver in the championship fight. He won races, was just as fast as his more experienced teammate, and showed he was very mature for his age. He was also a great team player. He followed difficult team orders at important moments to help McLaren's chances of winning the title. For example, in Monza, he let Norris pass him after the team made a mistake on Norris's pit stop. He did this without complaining. He accepted it as part of being in a team. Throughout the year, there were many times when he had to play a supporting role to help the team. He was asked to prioritize the team's championship push over his own goals. He put his own ambitions second because he trusted McLaren would give him a fair chance to win the championship too. He believed his loyalty would be rewarded. For a long time, it looked like the two McLaren drivers would fight for the title until the very end. Piastri was proving he wasn't just a talented young driver, he was showing he could be a future world champion. He was showing he belonged at the front of the grid. The season took a bad turn for Piastri at the Qatar Grand Prix. He was the fastest driver all weekend and looked set to win the race. This victory would have kept his championship hopes alive, but a terrible strategy mistake by McLaren cost him the win. The victory was instead handed to his main rival, Max Verstappen. After the race, Piastri stood alone and disappointed in Parc Fermé. His team was nowhere in sight. This was a powerful and painful image. It showed that something was wrong at McLaren. It was the first big sign that when things got tough, the team could make mistakes, and Piastri would be the one to suffer. The damage from that weekend was huge. It set a negative tone for the rest of his season. After Qatar, everything seemed to go wrong for Piastri. He lost all his momentum. A few bad races followed, and he went from being a main contender for the title to just another driver in the pack. While Norris was fighting Verstappen for the championship, Piastri was left fighting for minor points. His own dream of winning the title was slipping away with each race. The final race in Abu Dhabi was a perfect example of his situation. He had a good clean race but was never in a position to win or affect the championship outcome. He had to watch his own team celebrate its biggest success from the sidelines. He was a spectator at his teammate's coronation. For a driver as competitive as Piastri, this was a very difficult and uncomfortable position to be in. This is why Piastri is so frustrated. He knows he had the skill and the car to win the championship, but he feels he was denied that chance because of bad luck and mistakes made by his own team. It hurts to know that his sacrifices for the team weren't enough to get a fair shot at the title in the end. McLaren would never say they favored one driver over the other, but the results show a different story. The team's mistakes and strategy calls in the last part of the season hurt Piastri much more than they hurt Norris. These problems basically knocked him out of the title fight. They made it easier for Norris to win. Jacques Villeneuve, a former world champion, had a controversial theory about the situation. He said that Piastri started to believe the team was working against him. This might sound extreme or dramatic, but it shows how mentally tough a season like this can be for a driver. When you are constantly on the losing end of team decisions, it's easy to start feeling suspicious. You start to feel alone. This is the feeling Piastri will have to deal with during the winter break. The big question is whether this experience will make him a stronger, more determined driver, or will it create trust issues with McLaren that could affect his future with the team. The final championship standings tell the story of a season that started with so much hope but ended in disappointment for Piastri. He finished third overall. On paper, that looks good. But for him, it feels empty because he was so close to fighting for the win. He was consistently fast all year. He often matched or even beat Norris on pure pace, but his results didn't reflect his performance. The bad races at the end of the season were tough. Add to that the team's mistakes and the times he had to help his teammate. All of this left him thinking about what could have been. For a driver who wants to win as much as he does, that's very hard to accept. It's a bitter feeling that will stay with him for a long time. Watching his teammate lift the championship trophy must have been a strange feeling for Piastri. He was surely happy for the team, and for Norris, who he respects. But deep down, he must have felt a strong sense of personal disappointment. He had lost a huge opportunity. The 2025 season will be remembered as the year Lando Norris won the title, but for Piastri, it will be the year he learned a tough lesson. Being fast and talented isn't always enough in Formula One. In this tough sport, you can easily go from being a winner to a loser. The line between success and failure is very thin. This lesson will change how he thinks about racing in the future. It will shape his approach to the sport for years to come. Now, Piastri has to use this frustration to motivate himself for next year. He has already shown he can be one of the best drivers in F1. He has won races, he has taken pole positions. He has challenged the very best drivers and proven he can beat them. This winter will be a time for him to think about what happened. He will need to analyze the season carefully. He needs to understand what went wrong and why. He will also need to have serious talks with McLaren about what happened and what needs to change. These conversations won't be easy, but they are necessary. He will want answers from the team. He will demand to know that he will get a fair and equal chance to win the championship in 2026. He will want guarantees that he won't be treated as a number 2 driver. But will McLaren give him that chance, or will they now focus completely on Norris since he has proven himself as a world champion? Will Norris get priority in strategy calls and development? This is the big question hanging over the off-season. The answer will shape the next part of Piastri's career. His frustration can either make him a stronger, more focused, and more determined driver. It could be the fire that pushes him to his first championship, or it could damage his relationship with the team and create problems going forward. It could lead to tension and conflict that hurts both him and McLaren. How Piastri and McLaren handle this difficult situation will be one of the key stories to follow as we get ready for the 2026 season. The winter break will be crucial for both sides to reset and move forward. With all of this in mind, what are your thoughts on Norris's maiden world title? Do you think this will make the team stronger, or do you think it has the potential to damage the relationship with Oscar? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Formula One content. Can Piastri truly trust McLaren again after what happened in 2025? Will the team's promises of equal treatment hold any weight, or are they just words to keep him satisfied? What happens if similar situations arise next season? Will Piastri speak up and demand better, or will he continue to be the silent team player? Can a driver ever fully recover from watching their championship dreams collapse while their teammate celebrates? Does McLaren risk losing one of the sport's brightest talents if they can't rebuild this broken trust? And most importantly, will Piastri have the mental strength to bounce back from this devastating disappointment, or will the scars of 2025 haunt him forever? These questions will define not just Piastri's future, but potentially the entire direction of McLaren's championship ambitions.